no threat whatsoever. But here we are for the first map of this best of 3 at the numerical House Cup, spawning in the southeast position as the blue Protoss player from Team Millennium. It is BabyKnight. And his opponent in the northwest, spawning as the red Zerg player from Team Startail. It is Curious. Both of these guys are actually really good. I haven't seen BabyKnight play in a while. I saw Curious last play at the Intel Extreme Masters New York City, mostly because I was there. And he did pretty well. This tournament, as far as where the players come from, how they got here, 4 players were invited, and 4 players had to qualify. But if you're wondering, okay, who qualified, who was invited, how exactly was this all set up? Curious and BabyKnight were both qualified players. They played through the qualifiers, the 64-man brackets, in order to get here for these matches. BabyKnight sending out a probe, opening up with the gateway, and Curious is actually going for a very fast speed-based build, or just a very fast gas spawning pool. So no expansion, and this should set off some alarms for BabyKnight. He doesn't have a wall set up, so a very fast gas-based attack could certainly be a threat. And he'll come in and see, okay, you decided not to expand. Move into the main base, and once you see this gas in a spawning pool this early on, you start to wonder, okay, this is looking more like a 2v2 type of build. So BabyKnight, even though he has this fast gateway, will need to be very careful. He starts up his Nexus. Is he going to try to wall this off before his opponent reaches his base? I'm assuming his goal is to just wall it off using the Cybernetics core and maybe some additional gateways, but this will be one of the most difficult walls, I think, to complete in time. We'll see. I just feel like he doesn't. It's hard to get the economy to finish a wall this fast, but maybe just puts a forge and no. Okay, there's a Cybernetics core. So BabyKnight's just trying to use what he has to wall off very quickly against this speedling rush, and the drone is in the natural. The probe sees him trying to go and build this hatchery, and BabyKnight actually sees the hatchery get placed, which is super important because he knows, okay, that's a couple less resources that can go into Zerglings. And speed is, it's approaching halfway done. This could get ugly. Cybernetics core is the only part of this wall. Like I said, not easy to get everything set up here. But the probe was finally picked off. I don't think Curious is going to cancel this hatchery. I'd lose my mind if he did. But the Zerglings arrive and just in time places 2 gateways. BabyKnight puts the Zealot in position as well, so this really shouldn't do too much damage. This Zealot's actually getting caught outside the wall. There's not quite enough Zerglings here to kill it just yet, but he definitely doesn't want to lose it. And not using... Okay, there's going to be another Zealot from the gateway. And BabyKnight needs to... Oh, this is such a rough spot to be in because these Zerglings might try to run right past the wall if he brings the Zealot out. And a Zealot is brought out. The gateway gets canceled. The Zealot's killed. These Zerglings are Curious and get into BabyKnight's base and start picking away at these workers. There's just another Zealot about to pop out, but there's nothing to wall it off or stop it from coming in. There are 2 pylons placed by BabyKnight. Unpowers the Cybernetics core and tries to move inside of the main base, but there's 3 pylons. And I think, yeah, this is pretty smart. Curious to sit here and attack here forever. He's continuing to stream Zerglings across the map at the same time, attacking the gateway in the natural. The pylon's getting quite low. Does manage to at least... I don't know. BabyKnight didn't want to finish, obviously, have so many pylons, but he needs to have this wall set up. And now this Nexus is under attack. Picking this off would be so good for Curious. Look at this. Every time a Zergling gets to almost no health, he just pulls it away, distracting the mothership core, and immediately goes into drones. And then once he's picked off this Nexus, right back home. So picks off the natural expansion of BabyKnight, and he's pretty much locked him in. He's locked the Millennium Protoss player in on 1 base, and killing the Cybernetics core is absolutely massive. I mean... Forget about Warp Gate. He can't get any tech. He's stuck on just 2 gateways. Oh, wow. He has a second core already done. Never mind. He's smart. But, that was... Yeah, this must have just... This just finished up. I thought it was warping in 2 gateways back at home, but... Mothership core, up to 11 kills. Now, the Zerglings are just going to check one more time. There's a very nice force field. Getting everything just kind of stuck in here. That was a smart play by BabyKnight. Just being able to keep the Zerglings from getting away. And he does still have quite a few on the map. 8 drones in production, though, so he's not completely going to kill himself off of this. He's done more than enough damage, I think, to the Protoss economy. BabyKnight will start the Nexus up again. The worker count is not too far ahead for Curious, but it said he can just start spending all of his production on Larva. Forces a cancel on the Nexus again. He's saying you need a lot more units than that to just take your natural. And look at this, a Roach Warren coming in for Curious as well. This is just, he could go for a really big 2-3 base-ish attack. He does have a 3rd hatchery underway, but he could still make a lot of roaches without really saturating that natural and just use the hatchery for production if you wanted to knock down this this base once again. And the Overlord's got a full read on everything inside of the main. He knows the Nexus is in production. And these Zerglings are still going to dance around. Curious is keeping his eyes open, actually going for a lair. So he's going to be playing at least for the mid game. Picks off a probe. Won't try to do anything crazy like running into the main base. But I'd have to say this game's been pretty intense to watch. I still like the position of Curious. He's up to 40 drones now. This BabyKnight still can only produce 1 at a time. Makes life hard. These Zerglings take a little bit more of a peppering. The wall starts up again for BabyKnight, adding on 3 gateways, so he'll be moving up to a total of 5. He does have a forge in production, so I think he could go for a +1 attack, maybe try to make some sort of assault work, but I feel like if you take this much damage, you just have to try to force a really long game. But Burrow is on the way for Curious. This is kind of cool. I really like seeing use of Burrow play, just because there's certain times where you can just catch your opponent off guard. There's some situations I think we've seen this year where Burrow, especially the fact that it's easier to acquire, you don't need the lair to get Burrow. It's just made it so much more common to see. I don't think anyone will ever forget Jaedong versus Deer at the WCS finals. But well, this Zealot trying to hold off the Zergling harass. Curious is attacking as much as possible. There is a bit of a move out. A lot of sentries with that Mothership core. He will have recall available. Otherwise, he could commit to the attack. Like I said, it will be difficult to make this work because of the position that Curious has in this match. The Overseer comes in and scouts everything as well, so he knows it's pretty much just gateways. There's nothing like a robotics facility. And BabyKnight, I mean, going all in off of a setup like this, not something that would be typically recommended, but it's important to consider that there isn't any tech behind this. There is no 3rd base. This is going to be really hard to make work. And here come the Roaches already looking to get the sentry kills. One of them is forced to use a lot of energy, but he's actually kept all his units alive so far. And Curious just burrows the Roach, realizing, yep, I actually can't do anything here. Hallucinate Phoenix Scout will see everything else inside the main base natural in 3rd. But really nice play by Curious. He completely stopped the attack just because he couldn't even kill a single Roach. That burrow is so nice. So he brings the probe over, and it looks like he wants to just take this 3rd base. And I can't really fault him for this. There's going to be a very powerful army on the map, though. Since the robotics facility is only halfway done, there's no way for BabyKnight to make any units like Immortals. And even with force fields, these Roaches will cut through the sentries pretty easily. We see the 3rd base hasn't even begun yet. He's really nervous about this, and I'd love to see a Zergling get burrowed there. In case he wanted to rush for an Immortal, he'll still need to get an Observer to see the burrowed Roach. And he's just actually attacking this wall straight up. If he could kill the Photon Cannon, it would be really nice. He could start to abuse that burrow a little bit more, and that's exactly what he does. Immediately an Observer begins chrono boosting. And he's just playing Whack-A-Roach. Photon Overcharge is activated as well, but the force fields dissipate, and some of these Roaches are able to survive. He takes out one of the gateways, and he's just taking whatever he can. The 2nd gateway is destroyed. Curious has a fantastic position in this map. Look at it, he's just streaming Roaches all across the field. They're coming from every corner. He's blown the magic Roach conch, and they are assembling outside of the natural of BabyKnight. He's trying to get an Immortal out, realizing he needs absolutely everything to stop this attack. His production being limited, though, really hurts this. He can't build as many units. We'll be able to pull off a few of these Roaches, burrows, but to no avail. That Observer, definitely, if this robotics facility was any later, that'd be a nightmare. And he even delayed the Immortal. Killing off that pylon was pretty nice. So Blink is coming in, +2 attack. This would be the latest +2 Blink Stalker Immortal attack I think I've seen in a long time. Infestation Pit is on the way as well. Hydralisk Den. Curious is just going to completely finish leveling his tech up. The Overseer even gets the Contaminate. He contaminates the robot facility. He is getting absolutely nothing this game. I always love to see Contaminate. I say it's easily the least used, but strong. It's like the least used strong ability in the game. There are some abilities that are used less than Contaminate, but those do not have quite as much effectiveness, I feel. Many a gateway being added, 2 more at the wall, as well as 2 just completing in the natural expansion. Still no other further level up of the tech, so this could still be a huge commitment to come off. I think building this cannon back at home might actually be an indicator he wants a 3rd base. So I can't fault him for this. Just try to use the Immortals defensively. The problem is Curious has a hive on the way. Hydralisk Groove's spines are coming in. The +2 attack is also going to be done really soon. Look at these roaches. As soon as the army moves away, these roaches are like, yep, let's just force to cancel. And BabyKnight not able to build that Nexus just yet. The roaches are going to burrow one, try to get the rest away. There is the Observer, though, so that shouldn't do too much. And these roaches will just trade themselves for a Stalker or 2. Try to use Burrow, but Observer's not really going to be able to cut that. Still has an Overlord tucked all the way back here, all by itself. So there's a huge Roach Hydralisk army, and Vipers will be out very soon. And I feel like we're going to see some Abducts on some Immortals, and we are going to see, yeah, we're going to see a lot of pain. Curious has played a very aggressive game all the way throughout, and I like this. BabyKnight, he's kind of been buffeted back a little bit. He didn't have a very great start to this map with how effective that Speedling attack was. So this attack needs to do something, and BabyKnight needs to have perfect blinks, perfect force fields. Does pinch off a few units already. He's got Curious actually splitting up his own army. These are some good force fields from BabyKnight. Just trying to focus down the Stalkers in front. He will burrow the Roaches. The Overseer actually, he sniped the Observer. Wow. He sniped the Observer with the Hydralisks. Very nice play. That completely stops this attack. He can't walk forward onto burrowed Roaches. That's just not a good idea, guys. It's really not a good idea to walk on burrowed units. Templar Archives is on the way, as well as the Robotics Bay. So BabyKnight's just trying to get this closer and closer towards the late game, but Curious, he's been maxed out for a while. He has 4 Vipers now, accumulating that energy. And once these bad boys are full up, I mean, the Templar, if he can get feedbacks, he can buy himself a little bit more time, but he needs to buy a lot of time. His 3rd base is now just completed at the 17.5-minute mark. Muscular Augments is about to complete. That's the Hydralisk speed upgrade, as well as the +3 attack is coming in. Tons of static defense being added on this 4th. He's not opening himself up to any possible hit being hit by counterattacks. We see static defense in the main base as well to cover that hive. Curious is taking no chances whatsoever, and here comes that army. The Spire is just starting as well behind this. The Roach Hydra Force is getting ready to move in. Force Field's blocking it away, but will abduct an Immortal. 2 Immortals. Only manages to kill one of the Immortals. So a lot of energy left, though, on these Vipers. Abduct could be a serious threat. Picks off some of these units. Blinding Cloud on the Protoss Force to allow Curious to move up towards the natural expansion. The Robotics facility is under attack. It doesn't even look like you'll be able to finish this Colossus. Blinding Cloud prevents the Immortal from getting damage until it's in range of the Hydras. And this has just been a very well executed attack from Curious, utilizing the lead he's had from the entire game and putting up a very strong first set here at the numerical NHouseCup. Fantastic play by Curious. Picks off the Nexus, and BabyKnight is on the ropes, down 120 supply. The Spire's about to finish. +3 attack will be done, but that's not going to be in time. GG. Curious takes game number 1 in this best of 3.